That's nice.
What's that? Oh, I thought you were talking about my gut.
Food baby.
Food portion.
Well, actually, we're going to look at two things. We're going to start with this from the brewery. One of my favorite places. I'm not sure if I've ever had something that wasn't a 10 or a 9 to a 9.5 from them. This is their white chocolate bourbon barrel aged wheat wine ale with cocoa nibs and vanilla beans, weighing in at 14%. And if that isn't,
oh Jesus, I didn't realize that was.
In this doofus wants to do a does it mix with a raspberry porter that's 8.5%. But we're going to just review each on their own at first, and then go crazy.
Get fucked up Friday.
I got a show to do tonight. And just like I said yesterday, you better bring your wallets, because we're gonna close out Justin's thing tonight, and introduce the launch of that. The handrail came today, so I put it together while I was making Miles wait. Ooh, right off the bat, where
this stuff isn't filtered, is it?
Oh, it's like my mouth. Well, right off the bat, it looks like water from Flint, Michigan.
Sounds good. Listen to it.
I am never going to partake in your games.
It's not a game.
Jesus God.
What? It's serious. Listen, it's crisp. Do you listen to your Rice Krispies go snap, crackle, pop? I guarantee you do.
We can go open up some seltzer water over there, and that's going to sound crisp, but taste like shit.
I bet y'all know the difference.
And to think, people like you.
That's very chocolatey. I mean, beer says chocolate.
It coats your teeth.
Yeah. It tastes like I'm drinking a frickin' chocolate bar.
Wow, I can tell you.
High-end fucking chocolate bar, too, at that.
I can tell you, if we had 3 of these, we'd have to turn this into a Patreon video. You know, I was contemplating that. Seeing how the videos that me and Christine do don't seem to work out as often, we could maybe throw in an extra couple videos. I could maybe do a Patreon video with him and a Patreon video with Matt, and try to do like 3 videos a month. 2 would actually happen. The one with me and Matt and me and Miles. And then the one with Christine, that would be... See, here's a dilemma right now, though. The reason I started the Patreon was because a few of you said that if I built it, you would come. So I built it. And I use the money to buy something every now and then. It's... I think I noticed last time that a couple guys went missing, but Wade is a new Patreon member, and I say thank you to Wade. I believe there's enough in there right now each month to say buy a decent bottle of something for me and Christine to review. Originally, the idea was to offset some of the costs, and right now I'm not gonna turn this into a whining session, but everybody knows that it's a one-income household now because of a tyrannical government and a pandemic and a lie, and to see how long the sheep will jump and march when they're told. So
that's got to be the most irritating thing in the world, to see how every time they come up with a new variant, they're like, oh, Omicron, that must sound scary, we'll try that one. And even the doctor who discovered it It just had milder symptoms. It's like, wait a second. Until I start seeing people bleed from the eyes and ears, like freaking projectile bleeding, I'm not going to be concerned with any new variants, personally.
Well, granted, you know, you can stand here, and I can be truthful, and I can speak from my heart. And yet somebody will act like, oh my God, Eric is so insensitive. You're sorry.
Spreading disinformation because of your feelings. And it's like, wait a second. You guys can feel like freaking student loan repayment is violence. Like, words are violence. But smashing people's stores and stealing their shit isn't violence.
But the bottom line is COVID is minimally more dangerous than the flu is every single year. People die from the flu. People die from falling down their stairs.
No, we didn't have any flu last year. We didn't have any flu last year.
And that was amazing.
They cured flu last year.
That was amazing.
Yeah. They cured the flu last year. There was no fucking flu. None. But the flu is also a coronavirus.
The bottom line is it's like a huge government experiment, and so many people just fell for the bullshit, and it's just proof of how easy the manipulation is. I'll keep saying it. If our founding fathers would be brought back, this shit would have been over. It would have never started. We would never have some piece of shit like the resident in the office right now.
I'd like to see Ben Franklin with modern fucking technology. That dude would be a fucking porn freak. He would have every porn site on his fucking phone possible.
Gee, on that note, Steven, he was first. Congratulations, Steve. Brad was second, saying, hell yeah, brother, hashtag FJB. Clyde says, whiskey and revolution for all.
We're going to skip that today. I mean, with this, I think we'd better.
Clyde, I'll owe you. If I'm feeling up to it, I'll bring something up for Locked and Loaded. What I should do is I should do to Miles the same thing I did to Christine. I'll pour him a shot of the Texas Rye. Christine goes, this has a little bite to it. Wait a second. What's the alcohol content on this?
64%.
She's like, holy shit.
It's 130 proof. Woo! My wife's going to be mad later.
It is tasty.
It is Friday, though. Oh, by the way, Big Daddy's has a sign on the door. Now open Saturday to Thursday, or Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So if we went there tomorrow, they're supposedly open?
Yes.
Yes. I'd have to get the wife approval. I don't really want to go to breakfast without her, because I hear about that.
Well, you guys have to share a plate.
Don't have to. I just don't want to waste. Yeah, Big Daddy's, it is a very wise thing to do. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a reason it's called Big Daddy's.
That's what my wife said.
Because Dave doesn't know shit about portions.
No portion. That dude has no portion control. You know what, though?
And he's cheaper than anywhere else, too.
That would be 2 breakfasts anywhere else, what he serves.
But I'm just saying, if you went and got 2 comparable things, I could give you things off of the menu at Julie's, or Jerkins, whatever one you want to pick.
I wouldn't eat Perkins if it was... I would only eat Perkins if it was the last thing available to eat anywhere in the world. Like, they won the restaurant wars.
That's why when this man was here, and I said, we will take you anywhere you want to go. And in my brain, I'm thinking Texas Roadhouse, maybe the top of the harbor, go to the Radisson and sit and spin and see all of Duluth in an hour. It's a restaurant that turns. It's at the top of a hotel. And he's like, you know, I really want to go to Perkins.
Where was he from?
His wife's family is from is from Wisconsin, and at the time, I think he was. I'm not sure where the hell he was at the time.
What was his? Was he infantry or what was his?
Yeah, he'd jump out of airplanes where he wasn't supposed to be and kill people.
Okay.
He never would talk to me about it though. I'm like, man, you know, the camera is not on. There is no recording equipment.
There is a lot to that though. There's a lot of things that vets would say to other vets that they'll never say to anyone else, because I went over this with my guy at the vet center the other day. You just don't understand. Or maybe you can, but we prefer not to. There was things I saw over there that it still blows my mind I saw it.
Yeah, but at least I know what you did. You know, we're not going to sit and tell stories.
Some people,
he wouldn't even tell me. He wouldn't tell me anything.
That gives
nothing.
See, that makes him probably the most truthful warrior on the battlefield, because he didn't have to justify who he was, what he did. He knew what he did was what needed to be done, what was the right thing to do, and he did it. And he doesn't have to brag about it.
Well, I know on his own channel, he'd put up videos, you know, at the military shooting range, because he shot his suppressed guns, and I know he had like the opener to I think the opener to some of his videos was him jumping out the back of the airplane. You know, the gate would go down and everybody'd go out. Mm-hmm.
And that's not your normal airborne. That's special operations there. Because in a normal unless if he was doing halo jumps as a ranger would be the absolute minimum I could see him being.
Well, until somebody wants to prove me wrong, because as far as I know, he didn't talk to anybody. His wife would be, and he may not even mention much to her. I'm pretty sure he was the elite in there somewhere.
It just reminds me of when I was still with the ex, Katie, and I had a little bit of an issue sleeping in a tent the night before, and her dad walks up to me as I'm sleeping in the chair. He goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just couldn't do it outside. I don't know what happened." He says, "No, don't worry about it." And he went into some story about how when he was aviation, he was a helicopter crew in Vietnam, in the Marines, and that they picked up from an LZ, and they had deceased Marines in the bird, and they were overweight. They were carrying everybody out on too few birds, and the pilots radioed in and says, "Hey, what do we do? We're too heavy." And they said, "Start throwing off the dead Marines." And everybody looked at each other, and they started. Somebody pulled the pin on the 60 and went, "Tip, whoops." And they brought their own home, and that. The takeaway from that was, though, that that was 40 years before, and I could see both, my wife's mom and my wife at the time, or Katie, the ex now, looking at me like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And after that was all done, we were outside. She goes, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? It's been 40 years. No one's ever heard that story from him. No one's ever heard that story. Not any of us, at least." And there's things that people tell other veterans that they won't tell the rest of the world.
Well, yeah,
So
to me,
I relate his story, but it's easier to relay his story out in that context than telling him as if it's my own.
Well, to me, him not talking wasn't about a subject that was upsetting to him. It was simply that
it was what needed to be done, and he did it, and that was all the more he had to ever deal with it.
Or maybe he's even into an upper tier that the need to know basis.
There's things the U.S. military and the U.S. government's done that no one will ever know.
Brad, he's trying some Ardbeg. It definitely has a different flavor. Ardbeg is awesome. I do not have any Ardbeg at this moment in time. I've been to 2 places locally now that have the Korryviken. Paul says I've always loved it, but sadly haven't had it in a while. Cheers. And Brad gives them 3 thumbs up and a bunch of shot glasses.
Those were beers, weren't they? Nope, shot glasses.
Yeah, usually the shot glass or the beer is a
mug.
Is a mug. Salty? Ah, yeah. Naked. Look over and all I see is cleavage. Cheap old gun guy. Oh, Christmas beer. Oh, Christmas beer. Your hops so green and delightful.
Why did you sing that?
Just felt right. Zeus, beer is the answer.
Beer is also the question.
Wade, top 10. Glad you got your package at last. I've used mine for almost a year without any problem. The folding stock gives you options that that's a good
what folding
thing.
stock is that?
I had complications, so I had to go a different route. I wanted to put it on Project Overkill, my 22, with the kind of fancy stock, but I couldn't do it because the fancy stock doesn't use a traditional tube. It uses one that just screws tight. So I had to take that off of this rifle and go with this guy.
Oh, jeez.
So it's
That's kind of cool.
Of course, in this case, all this is nothing because, believe it or not, the bolt carrier is not moving because it's a 22.
It's just a 22 long.
Yeah. So.
Where's the magazine for this thing?
I had it out yesterday when I was goofing around.
That's kind of neat.
But now nothing has been done to that lower. You can take this upper off of it and put any 5.56 300 blackout.
This is adapted into a
traditional magazine configuration.
That's very cool. Actually, I'd like to take Garrett out shooting one of these days.
We should, or even if it gets to a situation where I can't go and you want to borrow it. That thing's so awesome because it's so heavy. I mean, if it didn't make noise, I don't think you'd even know it went off.
He's pretty good though. He's a pretty smart kid. So.
I mean, this bull barrel,
that's awesome.
This is just a beast. John Huber wanted me to bring this to Huber Concepts so that he could put this on it. Because it was the perfect dimension. He wanted to thread this for me so that I could put this thing on here. He goes, Eric, normally I'd like to find an excuse to put my brake on people's guns because of how good it does. This is going to do absolutely nothing for a 22. He goes, but you have to admit, that just looks frickin' badass. And if I can ever convince him to take I should just let him take it down there, or I could take it apart and take the barrel out of it for him, so that he could.
Actually, I've been trying to find it. There was a truck that I wanted in Green Bay for work, and if I could convince the boss to get it for me, I was gonna be like, "Hey, Eric, we need to make a field trip to Green Bay to pick up a truck."
So right now, if you grab, like say, the 300 blackout barrel or a 5.56, the only thing you have to do is pull this extension out because it's just sliding into the back end of a bolt carrier. And even though this particular carrier does not move, only the end does.
Okay.
It still has a hole in it that side. You know, I don't even have. Right now the problem is I'm afraid that if I put this somewhere,
You'll lose it.
I will never see it again. So I just figured I'd put it in the 22s.
Well, that's the best place for it.
There we go. So, but I do not fire while open. You probably never see that again.
Probably because it'd put your eye out.
I wanted to put this on something that I know there's people out there. I know there's people, like for instance Wade, he'll defend this to the end of time. And I don't have a problem putting this on just about anything, but I would prefer it to not be on what I would consider a duty rifle.
It's just another place for stuff to enter the rifle.
And there's no, like for instance, my battle gun will always be Alice, my pistol, and she's got the spring-loaded one that's already on it. There's no advantage to putting this on there. The only advantage is
that store's nicer.
Well, the only advantage is putting a regular buffer tube on so that I can put a brace on her, because I care about our government. And if the world turns upside down, I really didn't want to get caught with a stock on my pistol. Yeah, whatever. So I decided to put it on this, and even though because that doesn't move, it does not need a buffer in it, but I keep this lower. It's got ambi controls, so you could pop this off right now and use this on any 5.56 setup.
Sweet.
Or, like I said, I have hanging up, I have a 5.56, a complete 5.56 upper, a complete 300 blackout, and then the 22. So I could get a case, and I could put that in it along with the other two uppers, and you would have kind of an all-around setup.
When you run out of 22 rounds, you go to freaking 5.56. When you run out of 5.56,
then you start going, oh god, I have to fire another 300 blackout. Oh god, that hurt. That was expensive. Oh shit. Jesus.
How much are the 300 blackouts?
I know they're coming down, but I don't know because I've never bought them. I've had those guys send them to me because they've been one of our Justin's guns was 300 blackout. I have only shot 300 blackout one time in my entire life, and that was out in Missouri for the Missouri Shoot-a-Palooza. The hats were spelled wrong. Shoot-a-Palooza instead of Shoot-a-Palooza. And my buddy, Urban Armed, Josh, has about as much money as you could have possibly spent on building a rifle, putting all of the cool shit on it. I believe he SBR'd it and suppressed it. And when you were shooting the right 300 blackout, the subsonic stuff, when you pulled the trigger, I am not even shitting you, this is what you heard. You heard the firing pin striking the back of the round, and then you heard a bullet hit a tree 225 yards downrange. It was like, for that split second you went, did I just have a misfire? I mean, if you were shooting it, you got a little bit of a kick. Now, I know there's some people that are going to get ass hurt. Why have I not done a 300 black... I mean, I have a 300 blackout upper. Haven't done it. Haven't shot anything through it. I don't have any 300 blackout ammunition on hand because I personally think 300 blackout is useless for everything except in-house defense. It is a 30 caliber, slow-moving round. It's kind of like, hey, buddy. But if you're inside the house and you suppressed a pistol, like for instance, if I had Alice, if I put a 7.5-inch 300 blackout barrel on Alice and suppressed it, I'd be like walking around the house. Chris would be in the kitchen going, Are you shooting spitballs in there? No, it's all good. If I ever build one, it'll be simply to be a companion for Alice. If I did 300 Blackout, it would be the one and only time that I would beg our government for an SBR, and I would suppress it. I would put a can on it, and I would use it for home defense. And that's it. Something small, do a lot of damage at close range, but I know guys that have tried using it for hunting, and they're like...
Unless you're shooting squirrels.
Here's my impersonation of me shooting miles with a 300 Blackout round.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, a few of you guys are trying to encourage me to build a 6.8 SPC. Now, that's a pretty badass round. That's like a 270. Okay. Oh, and Wade, thank you very much. I do like it. In that situation, it means I could put that whole thing into a smaller case. I think it works, personally for me, I think it works better for making something big a little bit smaller. Not making something small a little bit smaller. Now, of course, I got sent a video, or Josh yesterday. Folding barrel, folding stock. I mean, by the time you're done, you could stuff it down your pants. And
Folding barrel?
Yeah, it actually breaks right there at the upper receiver. I think it's the same company that makes a really cool stock. They're a big company, and I believe it's at SHOT Show, and I think I don't remember if it was Big Jeff or somebody actually.
The more moving parts there are in something,
yeah.
the more likely shit's going to go wrong. And in a firearm, when shit goes wrong, it goes wrong spectacularly or catastrophically. Neither one is good. Spectacularly means you're not going to the hospital. Catastrophically means you're holding your thumb over your freaking carotid artery while your dad drives you to the hospital. I mean, because you used the wrong round, of course.
In a situation like that, leaving it as a 22, I've done nothing. I know that I wouldn't have to go retest that. Now in a 5.56, I'd want to shoot that to know, because I've changed the scenario in that.
I mean, I've seen new tanks get remote tested where they take and they hook up they take out the manual firing device, and then they have a long lead and they run it over to either behind the tank or into another tank. And they load around, get out, and the master gunner goes over and grabs the master blaster and goes crank to crank it off to see if that gun comes out of battery the first round. You don't want to be inside the tank if that gun comes out of battery.
No.
You've got a mini fridge made of solid steel, freaking bouncing around in that thing. That's bad news.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Is that like for first time testing purposes?
First time testing on a range. We had some guns that had to come out and go back in, so they had to. If you've ever seen an Abrams tank gun taken apart, it looks like a valve spring that's about that long and about that big in diameter with wire about that big, and it's just, and that's the recoil spring in that thing. All hydraulically damped.
Let's not have this conversation with John Huber if he's ever here.
Why is that?
Because he's like a master gunner in an Abrams. That's like what he did.
That would have been my next job if they hadn't sent me to recruiting. So, and anybody who's a master gunner, I would have been the guy that could have walked into that little board and gone, "Hey, three words, fire control system," and just looked and said, "Go." That would have been my dream. But the Army killed that by sending me to recruiting. Fuck.
Zeusy? The side folder is cool. My 700 is side fold, and I have to just try it and see if it works for you. Rich Huff says, "Cheers all." Cheers, Rich. Jeremy, so glad you didn't ruin Alice with the flip to side. Like you said, it's not my shit. No, it's not. But no, I didn't really want to mess with Alice. The only, when me and Wade talked, and he's like, "Hey, you want one of these?" And it's like, yeah, I kind of do. But
the cool factor is definitely there. I mean,
I want it on something that I don't rely on. That's what I want. I wanted to put it on something I didn't rely on. And in the case of that, like I said, I could actually, all folded it up. It would almost fit in a backpack about that size.
If you took the bipod off, or were able to swing that thing around to where it didn't stick out past the barrel, or move it back to where it didn't stick out past the barrel, then it would definitely fit in a backpack.
Well, the Bigfoot bipod that I have, I bought it at Daniel's Defense. It's on my sweet ass DRG Altenda, my DRG Altenda. Hey, Altenda, when are you going to be higher up in the ranks? And actually, he is working his way up in the ranks over there. Congratulations, Altenda. I want to know when Altenda is going to be like close to owner status, because DRG manufacturing, and I am just saying this to Altenda, but I don't really give a shit if Dave, their owner, or was it Robin? They used to help us, and when the world turned upside down because of the lie known as COVID, they stopped sponsorship. I guess the bottom line is, look at this scenario. How many big companies gave us a hand on this rifle? Let me see. No, and half. Huber Concepts and Miles brought us the spiky thing. Here, let me bring you guys in closer, because this is, and Jim, I hope Jim you're watching. Jim, I put one of the things that you sent me, Hornet Fixer. That has to stay. When the new owner gets it, I don't give a shit what you do, but it's going to stay on here until it gets into your hands. And basically, who we have to thank on this guy is Faxon. Faxon for this incredibly awesome fluted barrel, and Johnny Watson wanted this handguard so that you could see as much of that barrel as possible. Match grade fluted barrel. And it's a Faxon carrier. I don't want to make sure I don't forget anybody. I'll save the biggest contributor for last. We got Zeus with this frickin' awesome Faulkner. Go Faulkner yourself. This charging handle, Zeus. This is like a new want for everything. The problem is they're $100. Johnny Watson with this awesome Odinworks, the O2 Light handguard. Again, Miles and John Huber going 50-50 on the break. And of course, this is a one-off, one of a kind, and I believe if you would like these, it is possible, but these are like a special order, but the spiky, so you got the breacher tip, or, I'm not gonna, can you imagine right now if you actually ran up and...
Actually, my idea for this would be that if someone was in close, you rake it across their face or their chest, kind of like that.
It is razor sharp.
Yeah, if you raked it across someone's face, even just one corner of it like this.
You could Zorro them.
No. Ease them. Sorry, I'm flagging you there, but I know it's clear. Would you get this back?
No. And I'm just making sure I haven't forgot anybody. Jim, Hornet Fixer for the Justin Memorial stuff, and then everything else on there is Rich Huff. Rich sent the upper, the lower. Now, just so that he doesn't continue to be butthurt, Poco Local sent me a build kit. The build kit is sitting there for the next Justin rifle, if needed. Otherwise, if I steal it from you, I will replace it in your name, sir. But this kit had everything. And that's the polished and enhanced from Palmetto, and it was their kit, so it stayed with it. And then Rich doubled down and picked up these Troy Industries sights. Now, I have no plans to put any optics on there. If one of you feels that you want to sweeten the pot and put some kind of a scope or a red dot on it, that will be completely up to you. But now, tonight, the whole locked and loaded is I got to double check the numbers, but I believe we are under $400 from closing it out. And we need to get this done so that we can get this one up on the books. So, Costco brand. I wonder how this is going to compare with.
So,
the big Ken Russell Smokehouse.
Russ Kendall's. So Russ Kendall's is more of a, the smoking has dried out the fish more. This stuff here is oily. Tripping oily. Like the U.S. is going to invade this shit. Oily.
Wow. Yeah, you could squeegee this shit off.
No. And I washed my hands.
Well, I can tell you the downside.
What is the downside? There's not enough of it?
It's very good, but it's in a different direction. It's not getting the kind of the intense smoke throughout it.
You gonna eat that?
CLP. Oh, Jeremy, want to get in on some of this? Well, you can make a hell of a fish sandwich with this. Imagine a little Saint and mustard.
Why do we have to imagine it? I'll go get it. Unless you want to go get it.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely greasy.
We need a fork to scrape that though. Guys, I can almost eat the skin off that.
Jules does. I almost barfed watching her do it. She's like, "You gonna eat the skin?" And I go, "Not a chance in hell, Jules."
You know what? If Jules says it's good, you better not throw that fish up. It's not something I do regularly.
The hell did you say that you got 1,000
What do you mean?
sub-comments? Miles, Tales from the Loop is excellent. It is.
It is.
Fucking one of my... sorry to say that's my first F-bomb in probably 3 episodes. It's a fantastic... I don't know how to exactly explain it. It's like the Twilight Zone, but not. It's like...
X-Files, but it's not.
It's just this fantastically well written, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rewatch the entire first season because I thought originally it was this story, and then it's this story, and then it's that story.
The whole thing ties together by the finish.
But by the time you're 3 episodes out, they're looping back in the loop. they're looping back in, and they're connecting all of the shit that you saw in the beginning episodes, all meld back together in yeah, it's fantastic. And I don't know if she did more of them, but Jodie Foster directed the final episode. Yeah, it's excellent. I haven't watched The Expanse. Oh my god.
I haven't. I just haven't. Now I'm going to have to.
You know what happens when I get...
No, I don't want to know what happens because you'll spoil it.
No, okay. You want to know what happens in my pants? When I go...
Same thing as mine, nothing.
When I go to Amazon and there's no new episodes of The Expanse, I go and I start the series over and I watch as many episodes as I can. I have seen the first season at least 4 times to this point in time. And I don't know why. And I admitted this. Somewhere you'll find the video of me saying this. I watched like 3 episodes and I just wasn't getting it, or I wasn't paying attention, or I wasn't in the right state of mind. And then I went back and I watched like the first episode and I was like, what the hell was I missing here? I have to watch episode 2. Next thing you know, from the time that I pressed go on season 1, episode 1, I was on season 2, episode 3. I had literally... it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to work that day. I had 2 hours until Christine's alarm was going to go off. That's usually when I hop out of bed, go pee, and come back and get 30 minutes more sleep. I'm like, holy shit. And it's like, believe it or not, after having this revelation with myself, I still started watching another episode before I went to bed that night. It is, what are we in, season... Is it 6 right now? All I know is it's another one it's not as fantastically creatively written as like Tales from the Loop. There's so much twisting and stuff going on in Tales from the Loop, but yeah, it's Tales from the Loop is just all I can say is if you watch
and they did the right number of seasons, the right number of episodes, and ended with the right ending instead of like Game of Thrones season 8. It's like, what the fuck is this? Every season of Game of Thrones got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Well, the question is do you know that there's going to be a season 2?
There will not. They have concluded it. What's there? Well, what's there on that for Tales from the Loop? It completes the story. I watched the whole thing and it was really good. The whole thing.
Well, I wonder why they called it season 1 and not a limited series then.
Well, I think there is 2 seasons. I'm pretty sure there is. Or maybe they finished that season. But it was. What was the final episode you watched? You said you watched the final episode.
That was the one where he goes to find. He goes to find his brother, but his brother says, "I'm not your brother. Your brother was left out here," and gives him a sketch of the robot.
Okay.
And he goes and finds the robot and realizes the robot's his brother, but he crossed the stream when the stream was frozen, and the stream thawed, and he basically got stuck in time. And when he went to go find his mom, she was something like, I don't remember how many years he had lost. 20?
Like 20, 30 years.
20 or 30 years. And he was still him. And that episode, that was the last one that you can watch.
That's it then, but that's the whole story. If you watch it all the way through, there's a lot of episodes there.
Oh, yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, all I can say is if you're a fan of sci-fi, but there's still, I don't know, it's the strangest goddamn thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's drama. It's
just well written, and there's I don't remember if there's any woke in it.
No, there's no bullshit. There's no violence. There's not like on screen
gore.
Yeah, there's no gore. It's not It's not
There's
like
no
shock and awe.
No real sexual content in it.
Well, there was the kids that could stop time that screwed in the middle of the street.
Yeah, there was that. I guess.
There's a few. Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, it was. What are you trying to say when you try to justify watching porn? It was tastefully done.
Tastefully done. Tasted like rice.
Continuing with Miles' comment, I like the live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, and tomorrow is the start of Season 2 of The Witcher. Ooh, I actually have seen all of Season 1 of The Witcher.
That is one of my loops. That's one of the ones that I go back over and over and over and just keep watching.
There is one of the girls in The Witcher is one of the hottest women on the planet.
Chris Marigold?
I think so. The brunette?
Dark-skinned brunette, the one where they're dealing with the king, the child of the incestual king.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is. Tribute to her. Mm-hmm. Poco says The Expanse started out kind of slow. See, I think that's why I watched like 3 episodes and then kind of gave up on it. But if you don't give up on it, holy shit. And strange, but turned out into an excellent show. Cowboy Bebop had so much woke crap in it that it got canceled in the 3rd week. Laugh out loud. It's a shame. It really could have been great. Miles, back to Poco. Go fuck yourself, you piece of... Oh, no, that's me. Yeah, there's woke and everything now. I'm not going to let it ruin my day, because then they've won. We will always have the original. Poco, I should have you read this shit.
Let me read this.
Seems how it was your conversation.
All right, the only reason... Poco, the only reason there is woke stuff is because of acceptance. Luckily, in this case, it wasn't accepted, and it crashed in the 3rd week. LOL. I wish it didn't have to be like that, but it is. And Poco says, I had a Netflix subscription since they were sending DVDs. Probably had one since they were sending VHS. I canceled it the minute they signed a deal with Obama. I haven't had normal television since 1997. I also use apps to block all ads and commercials on the internet. I suggest it to anybody that wants to think freely. See, I don't need any blockers. It pisses me off that it takes up parts of my life that I can't get back to fucking have to wait 5 seconds for these stupid ads.
Can I read now?
Mm-hmm. I didn't mark anything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Poco, what was the movie at the beginning?
Night shift bellhop.
I can't answer that question. I have no idea, and I don't know what the movie was on the one before it. I actually would like to know what it was. Poco? I think you're referring to Jane Alexander. If you're talking about me not knowing who directed the Tales from the Loop, it was Jodie Foster. Poco, I actually like the Tac Pack handguard. I have one on the Super Pores build. I don't have that's a... No, that one's not. The 5.56 upper is one. It's I don't know who made it for him. It might have been Midwest Industries rebanded for all I know. Poco, you don't listen to Glenn Beck. You really should. He's good. I used to follow Glenn Beck on another format, and he has some things that I 100% agree with, and he has some things, I mean, isn't he like a never Trumper? I could be wrong about that. Miles says it's not pigeon dust, it's ecto-jizz.
That making me sneeze?
Jeremy, with the read more button. My issue, Eric, on the folder is why. You can already fit Alice in a pack. I'm not saying it takes long to deploy, but why? Alice in the front seat or in the back seat, no problem. My rub is, did the military ever in our country need a folder on an AR-15? I'm not busting anyone who likes it, but come on, man. Just pack your rifle and go to work. Love you, brother. I have a side-fold gold Galil. So there's that.
Wasn't the AK-74 have a folding stock on it?
Several there's an AK-47 side folder.
Yeah, but the
there's also the under folder.
Yeah, I thought the
cool
AK-74 though was part of it. One of its features was the folding stock.
You have to talk to El Tenda because I've never been or Jeremy because I've never been an AK guy. Never wanted one until I got the redhead.
You know, I'm sorry, but this is really good. You really need to try this.
You are out of control.
I'm wrong. Seriously, try it.
Okay, fine. Stuff my meat in the hole. The hell's that? A bone? No way.
It mixes. It really does, doesn't it?
It's like shore lunch.
Yeah. For anybody asking, it's the pork cracklings with a little bit of a smoked salmon on it.
Poco says badass. I love that knife. I'm assuming you're talking about the big ass chopper. Gonna have to have a 3-way draw. I know who wins it.
Shit. You added in draw, and I thought you were going to say we're going to have a 3-way to see who wins it.
Zippy, St. Floyd of fentanyl. Oh, but let's celebrate George Floyd. Naming a corner after him. And tearing down... We're tearing down George Washington statues so that we can put up a fentanyl Floyd statue. You people are idiots.
You know what? Right now, Kim Potter, she's on trial down in the cities for shooting that fucking retard. Right?
Yeah.
That's his last name. This is the exact situation that qualified immunity, that doctrine was developed for. I made a mistake in the line of duty. It doesn't absolve her from, hey, you know what, I made a mistake. But it certainly shouldn't be, hey, you killed someone. She never meant to.
And if you're going to hold...
Anybody who knows me and knows my story knows that I believe that police should be held to the absolute highest of standards when it comes to their job. But when I can look and say, no, that was absolutely probably the rightest thing the best she could have done, and this is why there's qualified immunity.
I think, therefore I am. Let's save about half of that.
That's about the same amount I got now. So are we gonna review this, or are we gonna give our score on it before?
Yeah. Well, this is. There's a lot of Wicked League stuff going on here. It is sweet. It is
chocolatey.
It is chocolatey. It is 14%. And I'd say if this was a 6-pack, First of all, it would have been like $100. And second, we'd be ripped by now if we had drank all 4 of them. For what it is, I would say a lot of people would probably give it a 10. But this is almost an issue of
too much alcohol.
Of too much. There's too much of a few things in here. So I'm just gonna settle in a 9 on this guy.
My only problem, if it had been like a 10.0, it would have been far more enjoyable because you wouldn't have had quite so much alcohol after tasting it. Now, if you like that, that's your thing, but. I like this so much I bought my own. It's sitting in my drawer upstairs.
I have one from Hornet Fixer and I have one from Big Jeff. One is upstairs in the computer desk and one is down here. I'm going to open it up with the Skeletal. I showed you the one that I want to get, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, God. If I could afford to have done it already, I would have. That thing is just badass.
I'm going to listen to it in the bottle.
That'll be my EDC.
I'm going to listen to it in the bottle, Eric, and then I'm going to listen to it with your ass, see if there's a difference.
I'm going to listen to it. Hopefully I don't have to listen to it when it comes out your ass.
Well, after fish and pork cracklings and this, you're going to know what that sounds like.
Combs, raspberry porter, brewed with raspberry juice, lagered with vanilla and chili peppers. 8.5%. It's a product of Poland. Fresh and juicy.
I don't smell peppers in it.
Dry and complex. Of course, it doesn't really say what they're saying it is, do they? It's stored for 36 months.
Oh my God.
And the beer changes its taste. Decide how long you want to let it mature. So the longer you let it mature, the more dry and complex it gets. I don't even know what the born on date, because we got these at Kenwood and lot number 58, 22, 21, 1. Now I don't know if any of those happen to be this year's date or what any of that means.
I know. You know what?
Raspberry,
most of it. I'm gonna tell you what it tastes. What I think it tastes like after you taste it. You ever have a raspberry Christmas candy? It didn't sound right coming out the other end. Doesn't smell right either.
Talking about those hard ones with the juicy center?
Yes.
And they look like they're a strawberry wrapper?
Yes.
Exactly like that.
Exactly like that.
Wow. Okay, we gotta get through these comments. Smile Money says top 20. I don't know if that's a good sign, because there were supposed to be 60-something comments. Poco, I hate this game. Worst game ever. This 27 says study harder with whiskey. Study? I'd rather eat out Hillary Clinton.
Why?
Fake news.
Jeremy. Talk is cheap, gunfire is free. Smile Money says, damn, I must buy my ammo at the wrong place. Mike says, cheers. Cheers, Mike. Poco, I know guys that put weed eater gas tanks in the bottom of their saddlebags. Pretty good idea. I bet you're glad you have it when you run out of gas. I actually have been looking at a set of saddlebags. Here's what I don't understand. To this moment in time, trying to think of what's the... Some pretty expensive shit has been sent my way. Almost $1,000 as sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed you that set of bags that I thought would look good on Vivian. Because...
Was that the Viking bags?
Well, yes and no. I did show you a set of Vikings bag, but those are ridiculously expensive. They'll last forever. Literally. You could probably lay the bike down on them.
And they'd protect the bike.
And the bike would have no scratches, and they'd go, I'm okay. No, it's actually a set off of eBay for less than $100. They're black with red detail, and they're kind of sporty. And I thought, because this next summer, maybe if we go riding together, because you have a little bit more capacity for this, I bring my little jerry can and run the bike on reserve until it runs out, because I want to know my exact range. On the regular tank...
See, you'll never get your exact range because you like to do a burnout on your tire, and that takes a lot more fuel to get that tire rolling.
Well, when I put the new tire on, you're not going to see that happen very much. This one, all bets are off.
I want to see you burn that thing till it just about pops.
Well... I have had that handed to me before. My old neighbor, he came up to me and he said, Eric, I have a brand new tire for your bike. There's only one condition. No, you go ahead. There's only one condition. I want to see a burnout like no burnout you've ever done. And I go, so you're telling me if I wreck this tire... He actually brought over, it was for my Maxim X. He brought over a brand new tire.
I'd like to share that with everyone.
Yeah. A brand new...
and you know what? The truth is the whipped cream thing is not... You get kind of sick of whipped cream after a few minutes.
Brought me over a Brandler Metzler comp. The exact tire I wanted for it. And I went, okay, you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And a long story short, we were really, really concerned. Well, I was really concerned about how much trouble I was going to get into, because you could not see my house anymore. From the alley, the house was gone. And the problem was the air conditioning system was on. So it was pumping in fresh air. So the inside of the house smelt like a burning tire factory. But I got the tire. He's like, well done. That was nicely done.
I'm going to have to put new tires on the Trans Am after I get the new rear axle in it, if I do this year.
Yeah.
But that's a car you can start in second gear, dump the clutch and drop the throttle, and it just sits there and sits there and sits there.
Well, you've witnessed. I believe you witnessed 2 out of 3 of the burnouts I've done with Vivian so far. Trust me, knowing that the tire is, if I had a tire and it was gonna, see, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford to get this done before the season starts, and now I'm not exactly sure where to bring it because, Matt's got his Harley guy.
I would.
Well, that guy's actually got a really good reputation.
He does have a good reputation. It's just Matt.
Then I got Nate over at Thunder Motorsports.
I'll put the tire on if we have to. It's just getting it balanced.
Well, no, Nate over at Thunder Motorsports, I said, what would you charge me? And he goes, seriously? He goes, Eric, if you buy the tire from us, I would never ever charge the guy that does all the maintenance for us. Mm-hmm. So if I right now ordered the Metzler, because I want to do the Metzlers, I'm gonna do Metzlers front and rear on it.
How much are those?
Shit, I think front and rear I was about $350.
There's $100 sitting in there for you to take. That's your Christmas present from me. is $100 towards your tires.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Who am I going to... If you don't have a safe tire to ride with next year, who am I going to ride with? My wife?
No, I'd like to save you from that. I'm actually thinking about doing some body work to Vivian and making their no passenger area.
No. See, that's one thing is when the major modification of motorcycles into something that it never was, is it burns me to no end. It has to be within 90% of stock, unless you build a bike from the ground up. Then you can do whatever you want.
Well, no,
but like it'd be like taking my Electroglide and making it a one-up seat with no trunk and no saddlebags, and it'd look retarded.
Well, the reason I say this is because I found a guy that the modification takes the back of the seat where there's a reflector right now, turns it into a pencil beam LED, and you lose your brake light. You lose your brake light, and that becomes the brake light. The whole thing, which is part fender and passenger seat, now turns into a cowling. But that cowling isn't what you think it is. It is actually a secondary gas tank that feeds the main tank. And the whole thing, when it was done, actually looked awesome.
You know what? It's your bike. It's not my bike. It won't keep me from riding with you. I just would never do it to my own.
Well, I kind of like her just the way she is right now, but I know I'm going to have that Corbin seat reskinned. And I've seen the newer version, and the newer version doesn't have that red penciling, and I have to do that because the bike is black and red. And to have the seat black and red. But,
tell Corbin that's what you want.
Well, NIHAP has already sent me the information. They'll do it for 75% of new cost.
What is new cost?
Like $400. So you're still looking at like $300 to have the seat redone. Hey, money bags. You know.
Yeah, I know.
It's a tall order when you start stacking shit on.
Speaking of working on bikes, I need to get into the Goldwing and start putting that thing back together. The 2000, that is.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
I would like to ride that next to the Electroglide. I'm gonna shit myself if I try that. Literally, I will shit myself. There's a poop in there.
Like Sam always says, there's a round in the chamber.
See, you know what I want to get? I want to get a freaking red-eared slider coming up out of a pond right here. That way I can turn around and go, hey, check it out. I got a turtle head poking out.
Smile money. Candlelight vigil, not a protest. It was held for all the people that Eric wants dead this week.
I'll tell you what.
Kill them all.
I'll tell you what, Eric. Tell you what. Like I've said before, if people donate to your Patreon enough for me to get that tattoo, I will have a red-eared slider coming out of a pond put right at my freaking belt line. In fact, you can even videotape that shit when it's being done.
Blue Healer, 2 thumbs up. Thank you.
But they have to say it specifically for the turtle head poking out.
Blue Healer says, thank you from the bottom of my heart for that opening redhead. Oh, yeah. You're welcome. Jules, good song, Eric. Yeah, give him a drink, please.
And Jules, I tried the fish skin thing. It isn't something I do regularly, but it wasn't horrible.
Smile Money says, never heard of Tales from the Loop. Amazon Prime.
You're out of the loop, Smile Money.
Smile Money, rapid deployment rifle. That name takes too long to deploy. How about just calling her Betty? You know. Betty. Black Betty. Bam Banana. Yeah. That's a good song, by the way. One Sky. Jodie Foster. Yes. Smile money. I believe so, but Eric was medicine-induced senior moment. Oh, smile money. It's freaking embarrassing. I can be thinking Jodie Foster.
He knows he'll never sleep with her because she'll never sleep with him until he grows tits.
Jodie Foster. Hey guys, I just Never mind. I tell you, that happens more and more lately.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time that I would have never even looked at Jodie Foster sideways, and she's not that bad looking.
Speaking of looking at something sideways, I put the Milwaukee pinch bar on Facebook, and then some guy came back and said, "You made a mess," and I had to delete the post because this dude looked like somebody sat on his face sideways.
Smile money. The Bloody Mary obsession. Excessive consumption of tomatoes can result in swelling and pain in the joints. Discourage. What do you think of Hulk Hogan's entrance theme music?
Okay.
He's looking it up because I'm not sure what it is.
Hulk Hogan's entrance theme music.
Tordisius. The gun-collecting goon squads will probably be wearing blue helmets and be from Communist China or the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, both UN members of the notorious cowbell haters. See, that's just it. Joe Biden, the deep state, welcomes in the blue helmets. I say...
I don't know.
Yeah, Tardisius, I will always aim for the blue helmets. Wade, George Soros is Jewish, just saying. Nowadays, you're either an American or you're a liberal.
Nope, not that.
Smile money. Oh, imagine you hitting the button, making you judge, jury, and executioner. Then all would be coming out of Hollywood. Would Rodney Pincone type movies? Laugh out loud. Miss 27. He's already the director of the Brew Studio Reviews.
All right, let's see what we got here. This is Hulk Hogan's Real American. This is what I would think would be his.
What your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
So is this it or her promotional video?
No. This is Hulk Hogan. I always thought when somebody said a song associated with Hulk Hogan, that's what I thought. So.
Smile Money says, his casting skills of Matt and Miles, need I say more? I think that was a slam.
I think Poco, or who's that, Smile Money?
Yeah.
Smile Money's just mad he can't be on these videos. Regularly.
Mr. 27
Move
says...
next door, we got a house for sale.
47th. Miss
Welcome to
27
the
says,
community.
intro video, yeah. Miss 27 says, outro, babe, nice. Miss 27 says, military is full of branch of libtard commies. Just saying, sorry, not sorry. Libtard commies. Well, that's just it. They just fired hundreds of military that went well, they didn't fire them. They gave them what is it?
General discharge. Now, listening to the radio today, Brad is out because he had surgery of some kind.
Knee surgery. Knee replacement, I believe.
Knee replacement, Brad Bennett. Somebody called in and talked to Kenny today. Said, hey, have you thought of this? How many of those people who were discharged were fuck-ups? I'm paraphrasing here because I can say that here and they can't say it on the radio. Were the kind of people that were disgruntled that they were in the service. They joined the service like, well, this isn't what I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be all freaking partying and drinking and shooting people. Whatever.
Wow.
Kind of like high school.
Like high school, except for the shooting people part.
Well, but yeah, the people who are disgruntled, they get mad that somebody yelled at them, and they want out. So they're like, shit, the easy way out here is to just refuse that shot. Kind of like when I joined in '95, the joke was, I'll just say I'm gay and I'll get kicked out, right? Until two guys are like, yeah, we're gay. And the commander says, kiss. You kiss each other? And I don't mean just a peck on the lips. I mean, you guys kiss each other. I will sign your shit on an honorable discharge right now. And they couldn't do it. You think that's an urban legend? That shit happened. And it wasn't just my commander that did it, I guarantee it.
Miss Markback 85. The way they are sheep. They have never had to stand up for their rights before and go through life saying yes to whatever is told of them. They forgot how to put the word no back in their vocabulary and how to stand up and say the word no. Nice rant, my friend. I will always stand behind everything I say. You know how many of the Jewish people during that time would have ended with nothing but regret? They thought they were going to get ahead by ratting out their friends and their neighbors, and they ended up at the exact same place. I tell you, the most powerful thing you can ever see is all of the scratch marks on the inside of the ovens. Never forget, because we seem to want to forget. And then we end up right back there in time. And right now, these douchebag millennial fuckstains are leading us back into the ovens by giving the power to a fraudulent, tyrannical government. Anybody that wants to give up your freedoms, you deserve everything you get. I don't want to give up my freedoms, and I never will. Come to my door for the guns. Sharky, plenty of rifles out to play. Nice. Sharky, I like the big cleaver, but won't enter the drawing. I'll get me one over here for spring outdoor cooking. If you entered, you'd win. That's the problem. Luckiest, unlucky son of a bitch I know. He won the Patreon thing. And, yeah. Donated the flashlight to the Boy Scouts. The knife, I put his name on it. I hope he takes it with him when he comes to visit. And, what else? Oh, the book. He's keeping the book.
Mm-hmm.
Sharky.
What is Sharky cooking when he comes here, though?
Everything.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to have to tell my wife, don't cook that week.
Oh, I want some of his Indonesian. He says, I-5. Oh, shit. I-5 is a hit. Oh, that didn't take long. SH, let's go surfing. Smile Money with the last comment. Even as a friend, I must proclaim and disagree so much that you proclaimed in this video. Eric, especially the Holocaust rant. I was 100% accurate on that. If the Jews would have stood together instead of ratting out their friends and their own family members.
Well, I don't know if it was you got to consider, Eric, it wasn't just the Jews that ratted out friends and family members thinking they were going to protect themselves. There were other factions within that they knew that if they thought if they ratted out the people that they wanted gone the most, that they'd be safe.
But they weren't. They all ended up dead.
It was the gypsies. It was.
And that's where we are now.
Class warfare. It was class warfare. It was pitting one group against another. Right now, it's pitting black against white, against Asian, against what we should be looking at as the super wealthy. I mean, why the fuck does Jeff Bezos need to have people sitting in a distribution center when there's a tornado warning instead of having some kind of a safe area there?
Okay.
I mean, there's businesses I've been into that have tornado. Okay, like USG, their shelters, their break rooms are tornado proof. Over at Husky, their shit's bomb proof. It's explosion proof because it's on the refinery.
Because it's on a bomb.
It's on a bomb, but you think about it. The ones in USG, from what I saw, they were shelters in the event of an incident.
You know how many people I personally know that said, I will not get the vaccine? A year later, well, I've been vaccinated. Do you know how much power the people that didn't want to be vaccinated would have if they would have all stood together? Because, like we've discussed, vaccinated, unvaccinated, it's America. It was his choice. Because I can tell you, this stubborn motherfucker would not be vaccinated if he didn't want to be. It's America. And it should be your choice. Anybody that is forcing you, any company that is forcing you, I hope you fucking burn to the ground. Essentia Health, you can't fire people and then deny health or unemployment benefits and be told that your mandate is unlawful. So what's it going to be? You're going to, the 49 people that you say you had to fire, ha ha, I call fucking bullshit, but that because I've heard hundreds of nurses and doctors, maybe that's just it, left. And that's why you're struggling right now. I personally know somebody that, lucky for this scenario, the amount of money that she gets per hour, you would honestly shit because they don't have the staff for it. They have no choice but to be paying all of this overtime and double time and even triple time. But at this moment in time, douchebag Biden, you fraudulent piece of shit, election stealing twat waffle, your shit is being shot down by judge after judge after judge. If he wants to go get the shot, I stand for that.
And that's just it. I got the shots for anthrax when I was in the military. The only one I didn't get was the smallpox vaccine because my hands looked like hamburger at the time because I got, you see that there? That's minor. My hands used to take and they used to peel. They'd turn into like a plastic. And I could peel them all the way down to here like a frickin' banana, all the way down to the subdermal tissue. My hands, I could go like that and rip off sheets of skin. I don't know if it was because of the water in Germany, too much chlorine, if it was an allergic reaction to the caulk paint on tanks and vehicles. But it only happened it only started happening really seriously once I hit Germany. And it was so bad, I would walk around with my hands, with Curlex and gauze on my hands, every finger and my thumb, all the way down. And I'd get stopped by senior leadership going, what's wrong with your hands? I'm seeing a doctor for it. And it was painful. My hands would be split and bloody every day. I could put steroid cream on it. I could put hand cream on it. I could put Vaseline on it. I could cover them and nothing would stop it. And it wasn't until years after I was back in the U.S. and I started using lye soap that it's cleared up to this point. And when my hands get cold still, they still do that in the extreme points.
Well, for me, drywall dust. It takes all of the moisture out of your hands.
Lye soap.
And I'll start bleeding, and it's like, oh,
well, like my fingernails. Like every once in a while, it'll get bad there, and I'll have a thick skin under the fingernails. But lye soap, Eric. You like that peppermint squash?
Okay. I do like the bar soap better than Christine gets me the pump stuff. And I don't know what is in that, but you can put it on you, and it's almost like it rejects skin. And I look down and I'm like going, I didn't pay all this money for soap.
How ironic is that as soon as I start talking about the Dr. Squatch soap, Sasquatch is behind Eric. Didn't even realize that.
Let's see, finish out Smile Money's thing. They are your opinions, and I support your right to rant. Okay, my lawyer says that should be a sufficient disclaimer. No, Smile Money, sometimes, of course, if this bothers you, I would apologize to you, but there's so many people that have given up their rights. And the bottom line is, when will you sheep open your eyes and see what this government, what this tyrannical government has done? You have lost, we have lost more of our rights in the last 20 years than, our founding fathers went to war and killed people that took away their rights for a hell of a lot less than what we're dealing with now. And again, he's just inciting violence. We're so past go time. It's our rights.
And you know what? It's not even inciting violence when we see violence in the streets and in stores and the media every day. Look at the smash and grab shit, Eric.
That's...
And then, of course, we have Mayor Beetlejuice and Mayor de Blowsme going, well, why don't the stores do more? Because when they do more...
Are you adding my mix to my glass?
I did not. You haven't drank any.
Shut up. Yes, this is empty.
You pour the other glass in. But they're saying, if they took and they did more, say they took and they says, well, we're only allowing so many people in the store at a time, they claim that was racist. If they took and they put in thick tempered glass or a laminated glass, keep from smashing the cases, it'd be racist. If they made people pay for things, they'd say it's racist.
Yeah. What? You're going to make me pay for that shit?
You know, what are they going to do when you've got some store owner who takes and pulls a shotgun around somebody and puts a bullet in their head? Then they're, that was racist because you shot a black guy. No, they were stealing from them. Well, you have insurance. That's not how it works.
Well,
why can't these people be jailed and kept in jail when they steal this kind of shit? Like fucking, goddamn, what's his first fucking name? Retard Wright out of fucking the Kim Potter shop. Imagine what that kid would be doing in 2 years from now. And he said he got pulled over because he had a air freshener hanging from him. He called his mommy and says, I'm getting pulled over because I got an air freshener hanging from my rearview mirror, knowing he had a warrant for felony firearm possession. Because he wasn't supposed to have one, because he was either underage or he committed a crime with a firearm and then got caught with one afterwards.
Wow. 1, 2, 3. I tell you, the average is between 2 and 4 lately. Okay, so we'll have a dozen mix. But where does this stand completely on its own? I wish I could...
It tastes like one of those strawberry or raspberry candies.
I wish I could decipher what the... I'm guessing 58, 22, 21, 1. I'm guessing this must be this year's.
Because it's very fresh and fruity. It's like drinking a gay guy.
I have no common ground to discuss this with you.
Or it could be after 36 months, it could be like my sense of humor, dry and complex.
I think I'm going to go the same as the brewery. I actually like this. Going off of what they would say on aging it, it's going to get more complex, but it's going to get dry. And the Indian chili peppers, I'm not getting any of that.
Madagascar and Indian chili peppers.
I'm getting the raspberry. Maybe a...
Bourbon vanilla. What is bourbon vanilla? Hey, Eric, in what situation would this beer be good? This would not be something you'd drink while mowing the lawn.
No, I would say this would probably be a good dessert beer. Maybe
After a good steak?
an evening. It would go good. Yeah, I would say it would pair good with red meats.
Mm-hmm.
Steak, prime rib, brunettes.
I had a blonde girlfriend who'd meet me at the door at lunchtime. Wearing not a whole lot.
M-E-A-T or M-E-E-T?
M-E-E-T. My M-E-A-T.
Yeah, not this one. I mean, she's okay. She's obviously a little tyrannical.
That was interesting.
This one, I would love to meet. M-E-A-T.
Hey, Eric, I'll tell you what, the first time that happened, she's like, oh, you want to come over for lunch? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I showed up at the door, and she was wearing something like that with thigh highs. Yeah, that was a long lunch.
First in the club is Zeus saying cheers to the weekend, y'all. Rich Huff says, cheers, clubbers.
Cheers, Rich.
We say, cheers, Rich. Okay, so it doesn't mix.
Does it? Why aren't we wearing lab coats? We're not wearing lab coats.
That's what you get for free. Oh, I never finished the thought. You were talking about that. Daniel's Defense makes a bipod that I have on the DRG manufacturing rifle that would work good on that because it swivels both ways for storage purposes.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Here's an... Oh yeah. I like a girl that's into maintenance. And remember, if you don't want to waste money, spend more money and buy silicone windshield wiper blades, not the rubber ones that most of the auto stores now sell.
See, the only time I buy windshield wiper blades anymore is for the work truck, because I don't drive the regular car. And so I just keep buying cheap-ass windshield wiper blades.
Well, and I did notice that. I started thinking about going, I used to buy windshield wiper blades like every 3 to 4 years. Now,
every year.
Now it's like you're lucky if you get a year out of them. And it's like, what's the difference? Oh, they're not silicone blades.
I got the Bosch mono blades. Those work pretty good, but they get frozen.
Okay.
Down the hatch. The chocolate is overpowering. Even though the raspberry there's more raspberry.
See, that's the problem. Usually if raspberry can't kick it and come forward, when you stifle
There's a little raspberry there.
It's a little, but it changes its flavor.
It tastes like chocolate raspberry. I'll give it that. Of course, by now, hey Eric, what's the equivalent number of regular beers we've drank now? We've basically already drank a 6-pack by the time we're in this.
Well, when we bring Mike beers, those were 4 for our first beer alone. By
the time we got through that, but to the point where we were ready to mix, we'd already drank 4 beers.
More like, yeah.
4 beers, and then we drank another 3 with this.
Yeah.
Did you eat today?
Yeah, I had a lasagna at VIP for lunch.
Oh, speaking of eating, I went over to McDonald's in Superior, and they have the kiosks. You go in, instead of having someone you can order from, a person you can order from, you got to turn around and stand at a TV screen and try and poke that button until it fucking works. You know what? I would honestly pay $15 an hour not to put up with that shit of poking a button. Are you want to upgrade? Do you want to do this? Do you want to... No, just give me the fucking food I want. When I punch something in, if I don't ask for more, that's the first thing they should ask is, do you know what you want? Fuck yeah. Should be a button.
Did I say Rich said cheers, Strip Clubber?
Rich said cheers. You said that.
I want to know when the...
But it didn't even spit out my receipt. It got jammed, and then when they took and went to bring my order out, freaking 12 minutes, 13 minutes later, she's like, order 687. I'm like, it never spat a receipt out me, never showed me anything on the screen. Well, I can't give you your food. Look, I paid for it. It showed up on my bank account already that I paid for it. Well, I can't... Do you ever... It didn't give me a receipt. It didn't give me anything on the screen. Yeah, that's about it right there. I'm gonna fuck you up.
I don't do McDonald's.
And then she's
I
like,
don't do fast food anymore.
it wasn't a real, you know what, I had to have something to eat.
I know.
I had to have something to eat, and I was hoping they had the McRib, but the McRib has been discontinued. Discontinued?
It's been discontinued?
Yes.
Those bastards.
McStopped.
McFuck.
McNext time. McKnife.
Okay. Mr. Mark Mack.
McMark Mac.
That will heat you up and cool you down all at the same time. Rest in peace, Mr. Holster. Yeah, that definitely describes the... I know if Scott was here right now, he would absolutely probably drink me under the table on that Texas Balcoons rye. But that was created just for what he used to say. Last in, Smile Money saying cheers, clubbers.
McCheers, McClubbers.
McCheers. And if I can get upstairs and get this thing edited in time, this will be up before I go live on Locked and Loaded. So I hope you guys are here, because I told, well, jokingly, I might make this a truism. We're not gonna. It's a McTruism. We're not gonna shut down Locked and Loaded tonight until we've closed out Justin's get home bug out bag. Okay, I'm gonna hit the button one time, then we can get out of here, because it's not as late. It's not as late as it could be, but I need to. I'm sure Christine's gonna want to have something to eat by now, and we've drank our fair share.
I don't know if I can finish that now. I am so glad I didn't have a shot of whiskey.
No, yeah. And again, thank you, Johnny Watson, for the very crucial part that I needed to put the rest of the rifle together. And
Jim.
And Jim.
That's awesome.
Yes. Jim, I thank you so much. That definitely makes it. I have the dog tag ones, and I'm kind of saving the dog tag ones for the rifle that Christine wanted to build. But I don't want to sound all high and mighty. That rifle will be high-end everything, and it's going to be painted up with an American flag, and we are going to have magazines made for all branches of the military with that. That rifle, that's the rifle that Christine wanted. It is... I'm sorry. There's not going to be any low end, any questionable shit in that. I hope that maybe things will turn around and we can actually get some companies back on board. El Tenda. So cheers, and we'll probably see you tomorrow. What? No smart ass parting comment?
I don't have a punchline for this.
Oh. Yeah, I got nothing.